Hello, and welcome to Step 4, Study 1, called Coming Out of Hiding. I shared with you in the 12-step meeting that I had an unhealthy dependency on my husband. What I also found as I did this inventory, I found out that I was blaming him for a lot of things that were maybe not all his problem. One of them was I sensed a lack of freedom and joy. And that was because I didn't hear from him that I was interesting to him or that he wanted me to have joy. And it's ridiculous now looking back, but I know that that held me back. I'm filming today or this week, I should say, in front of the back end of my office and my art area. So let me show you that now. Over here are papers and cupboard full of glues and paints and all kinds of stuff. And the purpose for that is because I decided to make an art spot in my own house after I went through this inventory and several years for a while into therapy. The reason I did that is because I had blamed him for not giving me enough time, for not allowing me enough joy. And I had used that interest in crafting and art with the children that I led at church, but I never did it for myself. So it became one of those things that God showed me He had given me so I could have joy. It's also an expression of emotions. This is just an example, one small example of what an inventory can do in a person's life. It can change us from the inside out. So here we have a story from the Bible about two people who decided to blame each other, and instead of looking at their own faults and problems. I want to say too that sometimes we're image building. And for me in my marriage, I wouldn't talk to people very often about what it was that I really felt on the inside. And after this inventory, and I realized I could say out loud what was really bothering me, it also was a release of burden. So let me read to you Genesis 3, 6 to 13. The woman was convinced. She saw that the tree was beautiful and its fruit looked delicious, and she wanted the wisdom it would give her. So she took some and she ate it. And then she gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too. At that moment, their eyes were opened suddenly, and they realized they were naked and felt shame. So they sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. When the cool evening breezes were blowing, the man and his wife heard the Lord God walking about in the garden. So they hid from the Lord God among the trees. Then the Lord called to the man, "Where are you?" He replied, "I heard you walking in the garden, so I hid. I was afraid because I was naked." "Who told you that you were naked?" the Lord God asked. "Have you eaten from the tree whose fruit I commanded you not to eat?" The man replied, "It was the woman you gave me who gave me the fruit, and I ate it." Then the Lord God asked the woman, "What have you done?" "The serpent deceived me," she replied. "That's why I ate it." And this story is about Adam and Eve and the great fall and the entrance of sin into our lives. It's a big deal to pay attention to what it is we're doing. That's it for now.